Hey all you YouTubers, what's happening? It's Tyler on Tools, and today we are underneath the cover of the boat doing some work on hydraulics. We are adding hydraulic steering to a motor that originally had cable steering on it. The motor is way oversized. It's a 225 horse and shouldn't have had manual steering on it to begin with. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I'll grab it real quick, show you what I'm doing. It's already mounted to the boat. The hydraulic ram's already mounted to the boat motor. I just did that. What I'm here to show you today is how to put the hydraulic fittings on the other end of the hose after you cut them. So there's the hydraulic ram right down there. This is a Norel or Norel hydraulic ram that goes on the boat. There's the shaft that it slides on. These are the hoses here that feed it. And these fittings right here are the ones that are not installed on the other end because you have to cut these hoses to length to fit your boat, and then they go up to the helm. So up here is the helm that's been removed. Let's see if I can get some better light for you here. Okay. So here's the helm that's all been removed. This is the hydraulic portion of it. You put your steering wheel on this. This goes through the hole. And that's where all the magic happens with your steering wheel. So this is one of the fittings that I've already started to install here, and reading the instructions is horrible. They don't really tell you a whole lot. It tells you to add oil to this little piece right here, the threaded piece, and that's about it. It says assemble fittings. So what they didn't tell me is that this piece is left-hand thread, and you have to separate these two pieces before you start the whole process. And once you figure out this piece of left-hand thread, it goes pretty quick. But for me, it took me a few choice words and reading the instructions about 50 times going, what the heck's going on? There's the lubricant of choice that they've asked. You know, WD-40 works for just about everything, I believe. So what I've got to do is I have to cut this hose down to this length right here. It's going to go to that helm I showed you, and then the fitting's going to go on. So I'm working one-handed here. I'm really sorry for any, misaligned videos or not looking good, because like I said, I am underneath the cover of my boat. I don't want to take it off because it's too much of a pain just to do this. So, let's see what we can get going for you here. Flip you around this way. See how that works. All right, so I'm gonna measure out our hose. So we want to go to the length of this fitting right here because that's where the other one was. So that's the length we're going to choose. It's right here. You want to make sure you get a nice square, clean cut. Use a good sharp knife. I keep my pocket knife really sharp, so you can use a razor blade knife if you want to. They also make hose cutters to where you can just cut this, and you want to make it, like I said, nice and clean so you don't have any little threads hanging out. So you got that. Make sure that there's no contaminants in there. So then we're going to disassemble the fitting. So these two pieces just unscrew. Like so. And then you have a slightly tapered end on that one there, which will fit in this hose when you're all done. So we are going to take the drill motor and the socket, and we're going to put this on here. And like I said, we're going backwards today, which is not normal. And of course, now that I cut the hose, I'm short here. So we put this on here, we go reverse, and this starts threading itself on the hydraulic line, and it'll eventually bottom out. There it goes. So it bottomed out, and sorry about that. And it bottoms out inside here. There's a little collar in there with a couple extra threads showing, which is used for the other half of the fitting that we just had. So now we're going to take this, put a little bit of lubricant on here, not very much, just enough so it starts and slides in there okay. You get this started in the hole. This is a right-hand thread fitting. So you start that. I'm holding the big fitting with a pair of channel locks just because it's easier on the paws. And it looks like this half of the fitting is a number 12. There's some two flat spots on here. And I believe it's a number 12 wrench. So we put number 12 on there, and you're pretty much going to tighten that down until it bottoms out. And then this piece here will continue to swivel. So this is kind of the same fitting they use on most of the hydraulic hoses for this application. But when I read the instructions, like I said, it doesn't say anything about left-hand thread. It doesn't tell you have to take the two pieces apart. It didn't really explain how the whole system went together. It just said install fittings. And I showed a picture of an oil can on those threads. And you can see it's starting to get a little stiffer here as it feeds in because it's starting to seal up against the hose there so that you don't have any hydraulic leaks. And this is why I'm holding this with a pair of channel locks. You could use the proper size wrench. I just didn't feel like going and grabbing it right now. And the other one I had started by hand and stopped when I got to the point where I couldn't turn any further by hand. So we are just about bottomed out. I'm sure this is thoroughly exciting. There we go. So that's all done. So that is the fitting you have. This piece here still spins. And then I'm gonna put my 90-degree fittings into the back of the helm body here. And I believe it's these two ports I'm gonna use on the left and the right. And hook to those. All this slides in the hole, and as I say, Bob's your uncle. Anyway, hope you enjoy and take care.